You know what that reminds me of? That reminds me of those dudes that would be like 16 years old and they're like, oh, she's 13, I'm 13.
Yep. And you're going to jail. Have a nice day in jail, sir.
Hi everyone, my name is Kaylie and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Okay, everybody, happy Saturday. I hope that you all are having an amazing day. I'm not gonna lie, I've been a little bit emotional lately. My IUD expired. If you don't know what that is, it is a form of birth control that they insert into your uterus. Yeah, but I've had mine for 5 years now and it finally expired. So my hormones are going psychotic right now and I want to cry every second of every day. I'm getting it replaced on Monday. Thank God. My appointment's at 9:30, but I swear I'm gonna be there at 8 and I'm gonna be like, just in case, you know, someone doesn't show up for their appointment, get this thing out and put the new one in. Low-key TMI, but let's just get into today's story time. I'm going to bring you guys up close. There we go. Okay, so for those of you who may be new here, I'm going to do my quick usual little rundown for most of the video. I will be looking in this direction because my mirror's over here and I would like to see what I'm doing. I do tell these story times in a first person point of view, so if you don't like that, then you can leave.
There's the door. There's the door, bitch!
And these story times are sent in by anonymous people. So story time about my high school what the f story. I feel like I should have saved this for, like, you know, the high school horror stories that I do before like school usually starts. But you know what? We haven't done one of these in a while, so I think it's time. So a little background information. This all happened from the time that I was 12 years old until I was 18. So from 7th to 11th grade. So back whenever I was 12 years old and in 7th grade, I switched to a new school in the middle of the year, which was amazing. Not really. I was friendless for a couple of months until this one girl, who we're gonna call Hope, just randomly started sitting with me at lunch one day, which was very nice of her because I was lonely. L-O-N-L-E-Y. Lonely. Anyways, but yeah, you know, we hit it off straight away, became best friends, but then fast forward, 8th grade rolls around and things started to get pretty messy, to say the least. There was this guy, Marcus, that Hope really had a crush on, but I feel like this is always where problems start in friendships. He actually liked me instead of her, and I'm not gonna lie, I liked him too. I just never told her about it because I feel like it was that awkward situation where your friend gets to you first and tells you that they like somebody first, and then you're like, oh shit, all right, whatever. Well, somehow Hope finds out that I like him and she went off, like completely, she crashed out, for real. She started calling me names, saying that I was a whore, a slut, a bitch, and then she blocked me. So much for that friendship. But whatever, to be honest, if we can't be civil and talk things out when we're friends, like if we can't call each other out and then talk about it, we're not friends. If you are afraid to confront your friend about something and you feel like y'all can't have a healthy discussion about something that's going on, chances are that person really is not your friend. Anyway, so fast forward, Marcus and I start dating, which dating at that time meant we just hung out in school. I mean, eventually our parents started letting us hang out sometimes, but it was always super awkward because for some reason our moms didn't like each other. Anyway, so, you know, we dated all throughout 8th grade until I ended up breaking things off with him a week before 9th grade started, because my thing is, I'm going into high school. This is a whole new ball game. Like, I gotta be walking into school single, because what if my husband is walking down the hallway? Don't let your boyfriend stop you from finding your husband, period, point blank period.
What?
That is so toxic. I'm just joking. Maybe, maybe not. Anyway, so literally right at the end of that summer, I met this guy, Liam, and he was a year older than me, but I don't care, age is just a number. You know what that reminds me of? That reminds me of those dudes that would be like 16 years old and they're like, oh, she's 13, I'm 13.
Yep. And you're going to jail. Have a nice day in jail, sir.
Like, no, you're weird. Anyways, so yeah, he got my phone number and this man had a ton of girls that were in love with him, okay? But for some reason, he wanted me. I mean, I'm saying for some reason, like, he shouldn't want me, you know, but at the end of the day, like, damn, I'm just really like that. Anyways, him and I were both pretty known around school. We both were in like the popular crowd, but the only reason why we had never spoke to each other was because one, he was older than me, and two, he knew that I was with Marcus. Fast forward to 10th grade. Over the summer, Liam asked me to be his girlfriend. Obviously I said yes. We met each other's parents. My parents loved him. His folks were cool too. And then a week before 10th grade was about to start, Liam's parents were out of town. So, you know, he invites me over. When I got there, we go up to his room, and then he tells me that he's a virgin. Did this matter to me? No, I really didn't fucking care, to be honest. I was like, okay, like, whatever. And then I told him I was one too. One thing led to another. We ended up having sex that night. Not to be TMI, but for it being both of our first times, things went really well. Just kidding. I may or may not have lied when I told him that I was a virgin. Well, not maybe. I did lie.
Bro. Now, I hate when people lie. Do not lie.
Back in 9th grade, whenever Marcus and I were still together, we did the nasty a few times, but every time that we did, it was like as soon as it started, we both wanted it to stop. Like, we both just wanted to end it because it was just always so awkward. I think what made it even more awkward than it should have or could have been was Marcus was super self-conscious about his you-know-what. Like I said, not to be TMI, but, you know, to give you all the full story. Don't ever want to leave out any information. Maybe that information could have been left out. Sorry, Marcus. Anyway, so yeah, I lied to Liam about being a virgin, and I plan to stay true to that lie until the day that I die.
And I will do it again.
No, you won't.
Side eye. Side eye.
But yeah, you know, my school year started out super good. Liam and I were doing great. Over the summer, Marcus moved to another state because his parents got divorced. So he went to live with his dad. One day I was standing by my locker and Hope walked up to me and she was talking about how she regretted ending our friendship and she was so lonely. She felt like nobody liked her. Blah, blah, blah. To be honest, I'm not even gonna lie. I was a bitch in high school, okay? Like, seriously a bitch. Did I care that I was a bitch? No, I didn't. Because when you go to school with a bunch of assholes, you have to have that face, you know, that I don't give a fuck face, nothing phases me face. So yeah, you know, she comes up to me wanting to be friends again, but I told her that to fuck off and that I didn't care that nobody else liked her. Yeah, I guess you could say that I was mean, but I did not care about being friends with her. Like, babe, you burned that bridge. Sorry. Y'all, I'm still growing my eyebrows out and like, I just want to do them so bad. Like, I tried to clean them up before this video, but let's be so for real. Anyway, so, you know, fast forward, like about a month or two, a bunch of rumors start going around about me. Stuff on how I was apparently cheating on Liam and I was giving head to guys in the janitor's closet, etc., you know. So I'm sitting here thinking, what bitch ass hoe is starting all these rumors about me? I start to connect the dots and, well, I find out it's Hope. How can somebody have such like a good name but then be such like an evil piece of shit? You know what? I actually think that's true. I feel, why do I feel like all the people who have like names like Miracle and, you know, I don't fucking know, Sunshiners. Why do I feel like those are the ones that are the most evil? Anyway, so yeah, I confronted her about it and of course I'm expecting her to deny it. But no, she just goes, yeah, it was me. She should have known better to say that to me because I punched her in the face. She deserved it. It was like a reflex. Like, I didn't even have time to think of it. All I knew is like, you know, next thing my fist is connecting with her face. Punched her right in the face. And then the next thing I know, I'm sitting in the principal's office with my mom and Hope's parents. Hope had to go to the hospital because I almost broke her nose. Her parents were freaking furious, as they should have been, but they were even more pissed off at the fact that I only got a 3-day suspension. But you'll never guess why I only got a 3-day suspension. It's because my mom agreed to have sex with the principal. Yeah. I obviously didn't mention this earlier because it wasn't really relevant, but I guess now it kind of is relevant. My mom was low-key a slut. Like, one day her and I were talking, right, about the reason why she didn't know who my dad was. Well, it was because she was sleeping with so many other guys during the time that she found out that she was pregnant with me. I don't really know what you want to do with that information, but you know. Anyway, so fast forward to winter break. At this point, I didn't really have a best friend, but one day during break, this one girl, Sadie, added me on Snapchat. And her and I, we start talking a little bit, you know. And one thing that her and I did have in common was the fact that both of our parents were single. So, you know, the conversation's going super well between her and I. So I asked her if she wanted to come and hang out at my house. Obviously, she says yes. I text her my address. And when she got to my house, I saw her dad was dropping her off. So I went out and I said hi to him. And her dad actually ended up coming inside, and he and my mom were talking while Sadie and I went up to my room. And Sadie and I both had boyfriends at this time. So her and I get to doing our little, you know, girl chat, and we're talking about how if either of us had ever had sex with our boyfriends. I didn't care about lying, so I was like, hell yeah, Liam and I had sex. Oh God. So, you know, I asked her if her and her boyfriend, who we're gonna call Caden, had done the nasty yet, and she told me no, but he kept trying to pressure her into it, of course. After this, Sadie and I became inseparable. She ended up spending almost every single night over at my house over winter break, and her dad didn't care because when he wasn't at work, he was out with my mom. So at that point, actually, both of our parents could really care less where we were. Anyway, so the day after Christmas, we go to a party, and I ended up introducing Sadie to Liam, and then, you know, Sadie went to go and find Caden. When we finally saw Caden, I gave him the evil eye because I hated this man. Like, listen, Sadie was way too good for him. But, you know, I played nice. Obviously, it wasn't genuine. But while we're all standing there talking, I noticed that Liam looked super weirded out. Anyway, so after a few minutes, Sadie and Caden, they go off somewhere by themselves, and I asked Liam what's wrong, and then he says that he wants to talk to me in private. So I'm like, all right, a little bit weird, but okay. Okay guys, I want to put a quick essay trigger warning in here. You guys can skip to this part of the video if this makes you feel in any way, shape, or form uncomfortable. So we went upstairs into one of the bedrooms, and he told me that he knows Caden, and not because they were friends. It was because he had a girl who was in 10th grade. I hadn't mentioned it before, but Caden was a year older than Sadie. Or no, actually 2 years. Caden was a senior and Sadie was a sophomore. So she was in 10th grade, the same grade as me. I didn't know what to say about what Liam had just told me, but it all lined up from what Sadie had told me about Caden and about him pressuring her into doing the nasty. Just as I was about to respond though, we hear a girl screaming in the room next to us. Thank God we were upstairs. So we get up, we bolt over to the next room. The door was locked, but we could hear somebody screaming in the room for help. So Liam charges that fucking door, knocks it down, and guess who it was? Caden and Sadie. Yep. He had her pinned down. Thankfully, nothing had happened, but after that, I grabbed her. I end up dragging her out of the room while Liam is giving Caden a well-deserved ass beating, and he got him good. Like, I'm talking, Caden is bleeding everywhere. So Sadie and I run out to the car. I start the car. I'm waiting. Hopefully Liam comes back. And then 2 seconds later, Liam comes sprinting out of the house, jumps in the fucking car. I tell him, listen, we need to go to the hospital. Sadie has bruises all over her. We get to the hospital. I stayed with Sadie all night. Liam had to go home because he had work the next day. But when Sadie's dad showed up, he was fucking furious. And then my mom was there too. They were both pissed. However, Sadie had asked me not to tell them about what happened with Caden because, and these are her words, not mine. She said, please don't tell my dad and your mom about what happened. He didn't actually me. He only hit me a couple of times. Anyways, so yeah, I didn't tell them. She was so upset about the whole situation that even though I really wanted to tell them, I just knew that it's not gonna do anything. Like, she's still gonna go and be with him, you know? Like, her dad still to this day does not know what happened or why she was even in the hospital that night. We had just told him that there was some guy that was super drunk and he thought that Katie was his girlfriend, so he just started hitting her. Surprisingly, he believed all of it. Anyways, fast forward 2 months. We're back at school and things are doing great. Caden never came back to school, thankfully. And it's also been about 5 months since I had seen Hope after I punched her in the face. Like, after that, it was like she fell off the face of the earth, which was good because, to be honest, I didn't want to see her ugly ass face anyways. But then I'm walking into school the one day, and then all of a sudden I see Marcus, who I also haven't seen in forever, making out with some girl, and of course it was Hope. He couldn't have his first choice, so he went for second best. What can I say? Anyway, so I think in my mind, I'm like, what the hell is Marcus doing here, and why is he with Hope? Out of all people. Turns out that Marcus ended up coming to live with his mom because his dad ended up getting into drugs and he went to prison. But y'all, as soon as Marcus saw me, he went, pushed Hope off of him, ran over to me and hugged me and so tight. And then he like picked me up, spun me in a circle. He was like, oh my goodness, I missed you so much. How are you and Liam? I've been so excited to run into you. Honestly, I was super excited to see him since it had been so long since him and I spoke to each other. But as soon as I'm about to say something back to him, Hope walks over and she's like, why are you talking to this girl? And then she goes and she looks me up and down. And I'm like, excuse me, what did you just say? Like, girl, do you not remember what happened last time you tried to fuck with me? I didn't break your nose last time, but I can sure as hell do it this time. Anyways, so then Marcus chimes in and he's like, babe, calm down. I was just saying hi. But that definitely did not calm her down at all. If anything, that winded her up more because she goes, if you think that you're gonna sleep with my man, you have another thing coming because I swear to God, I will beat your ass, you fucking whore. And Marcus just looks at her and he's like, Hope, what the fuck? What the fuck? Her and I dated for over a year. I'm allowed to talk to her and I haven't seen her in a year. I haven't spoke to her in a year. I don't know what was going through this girl's head, but she just started going psychotic. She was like, you're only dating me so you can get back with her. You want to make her jealous by dating me. And I'm like, girl, you are embarrassing yourself right now. Have this talk with your man in private. Y'all, let me tell you something. Do not be the people who argue with their significant other in public. It shows weakness. Seriously, if I'm a girl and I like your man, like say I'm one of those girls, okay? Say I'm one of those girls and I like your man and I see y'all arguing in public and like, you know, y'all are walking away from each other because you're so pissed off. Oh, I'm gonna know that there like is a crack that big for me to slip through and steal your man. Don't do it. It shows that you're in a weak relationship, okay? So if you are arguing with your person in public, stop it now. I'm telling you right now, it's gonna come around and bite you in the ass because if the wrong person sees it and they like your significant other, you're fucked. You are fucked. Take that advice and run with it. Anyways, and then she goes, and the only reason why you wanna get back with her is because she was your first, da-da-da-da-da. And then she goes on to say that she wishes she would have never done the nasty with Marcus because he had done the nasty with me. Honestly, like I said, it was just embarrassing to say the least. But what was even worse was whenever I turned around, just when I thought this whole situation couldn't get any worse, I turned around and Liam is standing literally right behind me and he heard every single thing that she was saying. So I go up to him, I try to explain what the situation is and why this girl is freaking the fuck out. But then he interrupts me and he's like, were you lying whenever you told me that you were a virgin?
First thing I want to say is guilty, guilty, guilty.
At this point, I said, fuck it, I'm not a liar. Why am I gonna sit here and lie? I mean, even though that was a lie, I was done being a fucking liar. I told him the truth because at this point, I'm tired of the drama, I'm tired of the lies, I'm tired of the secrets. Like, shit needed to be all out on the table at this point. As I expected, he broke up with me. Anyways, at lunch that day, I told Sadie everything. She was super understanding and honestly, she was my only real friend at this entire time. Fast forward to the last week of school. One of the seniors was throwing a party and Sadie and I got invited. Over half the school was there. This kid was super popular, super rich, and his house was fucking huge. So this was about to be a banger. Anyway, so we get to the party and the first person that I see is Liam. He just looks at me and walks away, which like, ouch, low-key, but at the same time, I understood. Then, you know, Marcus comes up to me, gives me a big ol' hug. Sadie went to go and find her new boyfriend, Adam, and Adam was super sweet, but yeah, they were in the back of the house in the pool. Marcus and I were just having a really good time hanging out with each other again, you know? We go over, we get a drink, we start playing beer pong together. And then we went and we sat on the couch and, you know, we get to talking about life and all sorts of other things, you know, everything that we missed whenever we weren't talking to each other. I asked him how Hope was and he told me that they had broken up a few weeks ago and that she blocked him on everything. And then after about 20 minutes, just literally interrupts the conversation, Marcus was like, I still have feelings for you. And, you know, I might not have realized it at first because I was just so busy with everything going on around me, but I had feelings for him too. And that's whenever we start going at it. Yeah, bro, I was wearing a skirt and we fucked on the couch at the party in front of 40 people.
I'm in the ghetto.
Yeah, I know. I know. But don't worry, we ended up, you know, realizing, okay, there's 40 people around us. Let's go upstairs and finish the business. Anyways, it was the first time that I really realized Marcus's glow up, you know? Because before he was scrawny, going through this sort of awkward puberty phase, but now like he was muscular, undeniably attractive. And he was no longer the insecure person that he was before. After we finished our extracurricular activities, we go down to the kitchen, we go outside the glass sliding doors, and I hear a bunch of shouting, and then as I look over, I see a human-shaped figure hit the ground next to the pool. And it was Adam's best friend, Luke. Long story short, while Adam, Luke, and Sadie and a few other people were outside in the pool playing Truth or Dare, Adam dared his best friend to jump off the balcony into the pool. Luke, in his not right state of mind, was like, fuck yeah! And then he goes onto the balcony. As he's about to jump off, he slips, falls on the concrete, and breaks his fucking arm.
You stupid.
Boys will be boys. That's all I have to say. Anyway, since Adam was sober, he took responsibility, as he should. You dared your intoxicated best friend to jump off a balcony into a pool. How do you think that's a good idea? Anyway, so he ends up driving Luke to the hospital, which was a good gesture of accountability, considering his part in this whole shit show. Honestly, if he wouldn't have taken him to the hospital, that's a bad fucking friend, but he did. Anyways, after that whole chaotic situation, Sadie and I decided that it was best if we go home. I told Marcus, hey, I gotta go, so he offers to drive us home. I trusted him to take us home because his tolerance for alcohol was like really good, surprisingly. Anyway, so I thought it was so cute. Whenever we were walking into my house, he waited in his car to make sure that we got inside safely. And as Sadie and I reached my front door, we hear noises coming from inside. We were a little bit curious as to what was going on. We didn't want to, you know, knock and interrupt what was happening. So, you know, we kind of just looked through the window. And then we see Sadie's dad and my mom doing it on the couch. Horrified, we immediately run back to Marcus's car and we're like, hey, can we go to your house instead? Like, there's some shit going on in there that we just don't want to be a part of. So, you know, we get to Marcus's house. His mom and her boyfriend relaxing on the couch, you know, doing their thing. Marcus was like, yeah, the party wasn't that fun, you know, and she got locked out of the house. They need a place to stay, His mom, without question, she was like, yeah, come on girls, you can sleep here. Now for Marcus not having, his family like wasn't, they were like lower middle class. His room looked like a fucking hotel. Like he had this big ass king size bed. He had this huge sofa. Sadie, you know, she slept on the couch. Marcus gave me a change of his clothes. I got changed, fell asleep in the bed with him. The next morning, I woke up from a text from my mom, freaking out, asking where I was. And then I told her, I was like, listen, we came, we saw something horrific, and then we left. She didn't respond. I'm guessing it's because she was fucking embarrassed. Anyways, after breakfast, Marcus drove us home, and when we walked in, it was like an intervention was about to happen. We saw both of our parents just sitting on the couch waiting for us to get home. Immediately, Sadie said, like, girls, sit down, please. And we're just like, bro, what the fuck is going on? And then they broke the news that they had actually gotten engaged the night before. And my mom just like whips out her hand and she goes, look, there's a fat ass fucking rock on her finger. Anyways, you know, fast forward to 11th grade. Marcus and I, we made our relationship official. My mom and I moved in with Sadie and her dad, which was literally like a freaking dream come true. Like me and my best friend's parents together, Sadie and I, best fucking friends. Also, her and her dad were like, their house was 10 times nicer than ours. But yeah, our parents got married over the summer. Meanwhile, I guess if y'all want an update on Hope, she transferred schools after she witnessed Marcus and I at the party on the couch. After a few months, I also reconnected with Liam. And you know, we resolved all of our past issues and we are finally friends. Okay, everybody, that is the end of today's story time. If you guys like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more, maybe hit that subscribe button down below. And if you want to know whenever I post my next video, make sure to click that bell. And if you guys want to know how to send in your anonymous story time, or you want to send in your anonymous story time, make sure to click the links down below in the description. But other than that, I will see you guys next Saturday with the new story time.